It all works until it doesn't. My goal for you, Jack, is not just building you up now to be an amazing athlete, build up your business, build up your profile. My goal for you is to be able to do this over the next 12 years.
Bosh.
Please apply the blood sample. The result is 4.6 millimole per liter.
Nice. Nice. So both of those readings have gone down since the last video. And the weight. The weight has gone down as well. We are priming. I just took my ADHD medication because I'm ADHD as fuck. And T3 and T4. That's something that is new that I put in the last, oh no, I've cut this the wrong way. The last, I know 5-6 weeks. T3, T4 essentially helps to keep my thyroid in a good place, especially when using things like growth hormone, which can lower thyroid function. It also assists with essentially having a leaner push-up. It's not something I've used in an off-season before. Obviously we're priming now, so we're not really pushing up food. But again, just different things that we're trying, which should yield a different outcome. So before I do go for a walk, I will make sure I have like a litre. So that's like 600 ml, and then I'll just top up with this. Good morning. So we are out for the morning walk. Something that I've been doing over the past couple of days is getting up earlier. So I've been getting up at 6, which usually I would get up about 8. So there's a couple of hours difference. I'm gonna turn the tank on. There we go, face tracker's on. Yeah, I keep forgetting I've got this feature on this camera instead of me trying to fucking fight it. But yeah, I'm getting up at 6. Now, one of the things that Cuba's wanted me to do is actually get up earlier. He's, like I say, he's thorough. And that's a reason why, you know, I'm working with him, because he's holding me accountable to operate at a higher level. So we're aiming on just making sure the routine is nailed. So I'm a little bit tired. You can see the bags under my eyes a little bit, but we're not looking as rough as the last video. Had a fucking fresh trim. In the last video I went the longest I've done without going to the barbers. And that was crazy because I was ill last week. I was already late going to the barbers there. That left an extra week. Fuck me, does that make a difference? So I'm feeling like a new man. But yeah, I'm still looking a little bit rough, just because I'm getting accustomed to getting up earlier. But that adjustment period will take a few days, and getting ahead of the day, it is going to be better. You know, that's even from a coaching perspective. Just making sure I'm up before my clients is just going to help with things like response times and getting on top of the check-ins even earlier. And essentially it's just about improving where I can. So it's going to be harder to go to sleep a little bit earlier and to wake up a little bit earlier, because your body is just going to be able to sync with that circadian rhythm, which is your internal clock. And that is why you want to be structured with what time you go to bed and what time you wake up, because if you are, that internal clock's going to be set and it's going to be regulated. It'll be easier essentially to fall asleep and to wake up. So all I've got to do is give it a good few days of getting up at 6, and then bosh, I should be right as rain. Now, because I was ill last week and I was, I had a bad stomach, without going into too much detail, and that wrote me off. It gave me pretty much a week off from the gym. So the last video, which was taken like Tuesday, today's Sunday, I was only a matter of days back, so I had a bit of a flatter sort of look about me, but also having that time off from the gym allowed me to sort of catch up on my energy, because before that I was flagging a lot. I'll probably go into that at some point, why I think that was, but for coming up to like months, my energy wasn't great and I was like feeling dead unless I slept like 9, sometimes 10 hours. I would still wake up feeling fucked, which is crazy. But that week off, although I was ill, it allowed me to sort of catch up on myself, and I made a few changes which allowed me to get rid of this. It was like prep energy. I was like really slugging myself around and my feet felt heavy, and it was irrational because I wasn't prepping or anything like that. And I should have been feeling good, especially with the amount of sleep that I was having. But anyway, my point is, now that's out the way, it's giving me the opportunity to wake up earlier and not be completely written off. And because I'm up earlier, it just allows me to be more productive, like I say, get a head start of the day and just nail timings a bit easier. Because the first part of the day anyway, I am just getting up, I'm preparing for the day with example of like taking my readings, doing my steps, prepping my meals, yada yada yada. So if I can do that in the early hours of the morning, then I can crack on with work. More reasonable time, and it's not closing into like midday-ish. But yeah, I'm just becoming gradually more optimal as a person. I don't know what accent that was, but yeah, it's exciting, man. Like I say, it helps because I'm being held accountable. I can't get up in the morning and negotiate and go, maybe I just sleep in for an extra hour. It's like, for example, this morning, I woke up at 6 and my bed was really saying, hey, just stay inside me a little bit longer. I was like, nope, I've got to put what time I'm waking up, what time I'm weighing in on the tracker. Yeah, so there's that accountability with it. Hot. Meal 1 is going in, same as last time. So we've got the eggs and the coats going in.
This wasn't the show. This is a promo for the show.
Yeah.
These are the top 4. Did you guys think they had it right, or was Patrick? Did Patrick end up 3rd? No.
4th, Joe ended up 4th.
Yeah. Did you guys think Patrick should have beat Joe? Because I saw.
Precision kills speed, my friend. That is what I want you to keep reminding yourself of. Precision kills speed. And why does precision kill speed? You are very used to training a certain way. Now, I always repeat this, and I'm sure you've heard me say this before. It all works until it doesn't. My goal for you, Jack, is not just building you up now to be an amazing athlete, build up your business, build up your profile. My goal for you is to be able to do this over the next 12 years. And that's both keeping your health in check, but also keeping you in a spot where we don't get any injuries and we don't get into a position where things start to fade or things start to fall off because we are not able to sustain progression. I think that's going to be a huge one. What we need to start working on now is the perfect marriage of both intensity and accuracy. I never want you to be slow with these lifts. However, a lift like a hyperextension, right? You have guys that have literally no fucking muscle using this exact machine and doing crazy fucking weight and crazy reps with it, but they are just moving load from A to B. It doesn't serve any fucking purpose in any way, shape or form. I would like you to be a little bit more intentional with the concentric And I would like to see you drive more power into the concentric portion of the rep. If we can now have you in a position where we move through the hips better, that will directly translate into a hip hinge when we eventually do one. But also, the stimulus that we'll get in the hamstring will be so much greater as well, because you'll actually be able to lengthen the hamstring way more. Leg press is already way better. Already seeing you move through the hip way more, which is fucking amazing. But I would still like to see a little bit more power into the concentric without pushing your stomach out. Every single check-in that you do, I want you posing with posing trunks on. I don't want to see any check-ins from you with boxes on. Each check-in is an opportunity for you to present your physique just the same way you would as if you were on stage. And these are the habits that I want to build in place for you now, especially with the small little things. And look, one thing I'll keep reminding you of is how you do anything is how you do everything. Right now, bud, we are still leaving a lot on the table with the structure, the schedule, and the constant illness that we are facing. And I think a big one now is not relying on any medication. And I think a big one now that we need to work through and work on is putting better habits in place with your eating, with your routine, and with your setup as a whole. I think a big one this week is making sure that we can get into a much better habit with your routine and sleep. I think that's going to be a huge one. 100%.
Oh, alrighty, so that's the feedback from Cuba and from the check-in, which was a couple of days ago. Now, he's referring to, one, my training. Essentially, we want to have a bit more explosiveness, a bit more power. Obviously, the focus recently has been on precision. So with that, it's just about patterning the movements, as I've said before, and the skill of how to actually execute them, because we're changing the execution a little bit. So with that, it's just being mindful not to be too slow with it, and once it's patterned, we're efficient with how to move it and how to actually recruit the muscle fibers the way that we wanted to with the changes that we made. It's then adding the explosiveness, so a bit more power in the concentric. With the check-in photos, they're okay. They are a little bit on the flatter side, but I've noticed even just a couple of days after, the physique has just responded. The composition has improved a bit, so the weight has dropped. Looking a bit better, a bit tighter, adding more explosiveness in the training now, and therefore probably lifting a bit heavy is probably going to contribute to more fullness. But like I say, my energy is just feeling better now. So as I mentioned, I'm getting up earlier, focusing on patterning the routine. Before that could be fixed, the energy issue needed to be fixed. So I referenced there was no medication. I was taking some medication to help me sleep, but that was destroying my energy, and I didn't realize how much until I started reducing it. And I think there was just this lingering fatigue that needed to be dissipated, gotten rid of, and that week off just allowed me to catch up. So this is why moving forwards, I'm very optimistic. I feel like my body's going to really go boof and really respond, because I do think it's pretty much in a groove with a lot of the plan. So now that it's feeling good and feeling good to go, so I'm very excited for the next check-in. I think that's going to be quite a big step up. And I'll also be in trunks. I'm not used to posing in trunks other than when I'm competing, but it is a good habit to get into, because you're wearing your uniform, the bodybuilding uniform. So it's just conducting yourself as a professional. Again, this is what I like about Cuba, because not every bodybuilder will do this. Not every pro will do this. But at the end of the day, if I'm thinking about competing against the best in the world, and I'm wanting to win pro shows, and these people are being coached by great coaches, and they're very genetically gifted, and they're going to be on it. If there's any way that I could be more on it and approach this better, more diligently, I must do it. And I'm in a place in my life where I can facilitate that. So this is the next 3 meals prepped, ready, because I'm going to be out for most of the day. I've just been cooking and listening to a lecture with Cuba in, funnily enough. It's basically my dad now, but he's doing a Q&A, so it's a good listen. Anyway, I need to carry on because it's live. Just about to go to the gym, so I thought it'd be a good time to show you my most recent delivery from Monster, because I do need to change. I've got all kinds of shit all over this t-shirt. So from Monster we've got a t-shirt. Bosh. Wow. I love it. It's hardcore. Fuck yeah. And hoodie, which is great timing because after being blasted of heat this past week, the weather's cooled down. There we go. So I'm going to pop these on. Richardson 10 if you wanted a discount with your own order. But I also believe there was going to be a giveaway on those items on my Instagram by the time this video is uploaded. But anyway, I go be late for the gym, so I need to get changed. Hey yo!
Hey up, yo! How are we?
How are we feeling for legs?
Excited. I love a leg day. You know I love a leg day.
Yeah.
Foundations. We build a strong foundation and we'll get a strong empire. That's what it's all about. That's my whole training philosophy on legs anyways.
It's pretty gay.
How are you feeling about legs?
I feel good.
Yeah?
I feel good. I feel like each session is on the split, we're patterning it. I'm now in a good place for legs to just be less conscious of the cues and just fucking send it, you know?
How have you found the adjustment period of things?
Pretty good. Obviously being ill didn't help, but I find I'm in a routine now where it's becoming autonomous.
Do you feel as though you're kind of not going into that autopilot mode, but you're going into that switching mode of, right, we're getting to work now? Or do you feel as though it's just coming still slightly getting programmed in?
No, yeah. I think, like I say, overall, I'm getting there. I'm getting into more of a flow state with it all.
Flow state, I like it, yes.
Yeah, and that's where you want to be. I think, like I say, the illness has sort of disrupted that a little bit, but it's a small hiccup in the grand scheme of things. I think with training, there's still going to be room for improvement. I think I need to. It's trying to balance that, and you know, this is something Cuba mentioned in the check-in. He sort of alluded to the fact that, you know, we want to be focused on position, but also keeping that intensity there. Now, I've had my own balance with that for years, but I'm trying to sort of match that equilibrium with his version, because this is the first time I've had someone take over my training in about fucking 6 years, man.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to be conscious of these changes.
Yeah.
And not get to a point where I'm overthinking it,
Yeah.
over-cueing.
I think, and this is again what I was going to do on a reel, and I was going to process. Do you remember 4 days after my birthday when I just started getting into things? And this goes back to the overthinking, where we were in the bathroom and I just did the lat spread, and you went, that's perfect. And then you mentioned a couple of things, and I went, oh, let's do it. In my idea, we went, let's do it again. And then I tried to do it again, and I just started overthinking it completely. So everything went a little bit tits up.
Yeah. That's, I suppose, the challenge for myself is not overthinking everything, but I think you need to be
Conscious of what's happening.
more mindful
Yeah.
at the beginning, and more conscientious of your training when you're making alterations.
Yeah.
Like I say, I was in my own sort of flow state for my training, and I had that balance of intensity and execution. The execution was decent.
first is the weight loss. That's how I began my journey, just having that weight loss and functionality side of things. Then we started going into that powerlifting, so getting the weight to A to B as quick as possible, and going back to that refining of what we're doing now is just refining that blade. The ego has to be put aside.
Yeah.
In order for us to really progress, the ego has to be just locked in its cage. It's great to get the ego out every now and again, but have that balance with it.
Yeah. That's what I like about bodybuilding. It's the balancing act of using your ego. For example, a big thing for me is like with the training. It's like, okay, cool, because someone else is looking after it. Then I'm more settled with the idea of stripping back the weight, because I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Someone else who I trust is looking at it, and I'm not in my head thinking, oh, I'm being a bitch here, and I'm lifting too light or too mild, because if that was the case, again, that trusted eye is going to tell me so, right?
Yeah.
Whereas doing it myself, I was probably more inclined to think that way, but you also don't want to like have so much, okay, no ego, let's be, and then you sort of sabotage yourself that way because you're too reserved.
Yeah.
So it's this balance of the two. Where you're just like, bosh, I am sweating in this. I'm just like building up heat. So I'm going to end this here and catch you inside for the legs. So I'm excreting. Oh, look at me, I'm just getting shinier as this video is going on.
I kind of like it.
It's pretty gay. Yes, again. Put this down, so this is forwards, which is contrary to what I was doing before, yeah, but what a lot of people are preaching nowadays, and what I've preached myself, where you want to go for whack a hustler pad on, go for maximum stretch. And I noticed that my knees were getting fucked. So, obviously, this is in before the compounds. And the main objective of this exercise is to just fully shorten the quad. It's the only exercise where you can truly do that. That's what I'm really trying to emphasize. The range of motion is still good, but not so much, and it's so extreme where that's going to put my knee in a compromising position, which personally for me it was. And I was trying to fight and wiggle around it and position myself. And the irony of it is, and I think this is the case for a lot of my issues of training, I was applying too much range of motion. And I think a lot of my pain and training has come from too much range of motion, but trying to really lengthen shit and falling too much into that camp, and also not aligning myself properly. The two easy fixes. And that's what I mean by over fucking thinking training and over complicating it. Just trying to improve it actually fuck my shit up. Yes! Oh, yeah. Well, that's just got up tremendously.
Takes out now, Jack. Come on. One, two, lovely. One, two, nice. One, two. One, two, lovely. One, two, beautiful. Come on. One, two, and again. Come on. Yes. Nice.
So you want to begin with the 2-second pause
And with that.
when I'm paused, because we count with the pause. If I'm still moving, you don't want to count it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the best, pretty much like the best set I've had on this since it's been in.
My next set might go a little bit wider. Because I feel like just in the nail. A little bit wider.
Yeah. Just again, foot position's different for me. I'm just having my feet wider, but facing forwards. Just because, again, I was going too narrow before.
Yeah. I found when I was new, I was going close stance. These sorts of.
You're not stable in that position. You want to prioritize, you want to go with what's most comfortable, really.
Yeah. Well, this is why I started doing it wide, and I started feeling it in the hip a little bit.
Yeah. So to stop me from feeling it in my adductors, I have my feet straight still.
But wide?
Yeah. Because if I have it pointed outwards, I'm going to get more adductors. If I have them straight, it's more quads. Oh God. Easy. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. We're done and we are now eating the post-workout. So passata, rice, chicken, kale, and we're having an apple. I've got to tell you guys, that was a crazy leg set. That was the best leg session. I'm not just saying that because of recency bias, but it's like the best session I've had since I can remember. Genuinely, I think it nailed the requested, accuracy and intensity. I think that was nailed. And the greatest thing about that is it was pain-free. It was like the best energy I've had in the gym, the best readiness I've had. I'm talking about in months, right? Best in regards to position, best in regards to intensity. Because the intensity it's been there. Like, I'm training to failure, but precision was taking the lead for the past few weeks for the reasons I've said a bunch of times. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I think this session's been a sign of, right, we're fucking, pretty much what I manifested in the car earlier. It's like, cool, we've patted it, now, boom. We're good to go. We're good to fucking push up. And I'm excited. I think the aim now is to not get too carried away, just throw away what has been gained by stripping back. Because I've been guilty of that before, because I've stripped back plenty of times. I'm not new to the concept of stripping back. I've posted about it, I've talked about it, but I've been guilty of just probably getting a bit too carried away and not getting myself completely pain-free. And I find a lot of, like I said earlier on the leg extension, a lot of what's caused the issues is going too deep on things and not aligning myself properly. Like, for the example, on the leg press, you'll probably notice that my feet are a bit wider because I would go very close and very low down with my feet and then very fucking deep to the point where my lower back's curved. But I wouldn't really feel that at the time. But yeah, it was like, and then I'm wondering why I'm struggling to fucking walk after. Not in a good way, because my fucking lower back and my knees fucked. So it's a bit silly. And I'm not saying, right, everyone needs to train with shallow depth or whatever. Depth's important. But active range of tension is the goal. You want to go as deep as that muscle can go. Not as deep as you can go, but as much of a stretch as that muscle can have, without the tension coming off the muscle and going onto other body parts or connective tissue. Anyway, I could just ramble about this shit all the time. I could just go in a rabbit hole and just ramble. But I'm going to call it a day. I appreciate you guys for watching as always. Have a good one. See you in a bit.